week of practices under your belt now. How's special teams shaking up?
I think it's good. I think we're a lot further ahead than we were last year at this time in fall. A lot of depth. We had a real solid spring on special teams, and it's carried over. And you can definitely tell that the work that we did in spring is carried over, and we're where we need to be.
We've kind of heard from every coach that everyone seems to feel like you guys are further ahead than you were last year. I'm curious your perspective on that with your group.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's because we've all been together for a year now too. And last year we were all new, and so now the players know what we want, our expectations, and they're buying into what we got going. So it showed a lot of improvement.
This last year you had two very veteran guys, a kicker and punter. It's a little different this year. What's been the, I guess not the transition, but just the process of locating a guy, that really hasn't done the job yet?
The best thing about that is we got those guys, the guys that are filling in those spots, because you're correct there. Last year we had two veteran guys, and they were good here for a lot of years. But the guys that are going to replace them, they got an opportunity to be here last year, right? So they're not new. They were here all year with us. Caleb and Logan and AJ has been a guy who's actually punted in the game. We're good at long snapper, so we do have a lot of experience. And the guys that are new have been here, so it's not like they're fresh off the streets. Yeah. So I feel good about that.
We saw Caleb make a couple of kicks, I think 30, 40 yards today. We have how much work do you expect those kickers to get throughout the month of August?
Well, right now we're down to one right now, so I'm kind of like holding back on him because I don't want to overuse his leg, but they're going to have to prove that they can go into that first game and do some things. So kind of backing off a little bit, but still getting as much work as possible so they stay fresh.
You mentioned that you guys feel, even in your group especially, that you are ahead of the schedule compared to last year. What specifically do you think has shown the most improvement from last year to this year?
But just the way we practice, knowing the systems. Last year around this time, they were learning all my new schemes, right? This year they've had a year in them, 2 springs in a year, a full year. So now they're not stinking as much. There's a lot of carryover. So that's why I feel like there's a lot of improvement.
Is there when you're going with a kicker that hasn't really kicked at this level, is there a particular drill or something you can use? You can't totally simulate what it's going to look like in a game as far as pressure goes, but is there something that you can try to at least give them an idea?
Well, they always kind of like when everyone else is doing their own thing. When we're practicing, they're doing their own thing. The best thing to give them a little bit of pressure is when they got to go out there and kick and execute in front of everyone else. So that's as close as we can get to giving them a game. Like now their peers are watching them. Now they got to go out and execute, and I think that's something that a lot of times you'll see them come and do that, and they don't execute because they're not used to being in front of guys, and they got to get used to that. So that's kind of what we do.
Is there something maybe on a first game where you're kind of looking at a guy like that and just sort of how do you deal with a guy that's never kicked before during his first game? Do you?
The way I deal with it, I pray. All right? I'm like, I hope he can get in there. Like I don't know what to tell you on that. Like, hopefully he has some confidence in himself to get in there and do it, and hopefully you got the right guy doing it. So, it's kind of like you can't put too much pressure on them, right? You just got to let them do their thing.
In the spring, you described AJ as kind of expected to be the guy to fill in with Max more in a swing sort of role. Mm-hmm. Would you still say that's an accurate description of where things are at, or is it a little more competitive than
I think it's a little more competitive than that than you think. I think Max got an opportunity to focus more on just punting, which he didn't. He's always been the swing guy, so I think that he's been able to be more of a threat to AJ. It's always good to have 2 guys that can do it. We're gonna probably take that right down to the first week of the first game and kind of see where we're at with that.
How's this unit changed since the spring game?
What unit are you talking about? The specialists?
Yeah.
Since the spring game, it's pretty much the same as the spring. Yeah, a lot of carryover from spring. We didn't lose any guys. The only thing that's changed is we got a couple guys injured, so it's been just Caleb. So that's the only thing. But we got 2 real good long snappers. I think we're good at punter. We just kind of got to find what we're going to do with our kicking situation.
What growth have you seen?
Oh, what growth?
Yeah.
I feel like they're very. That group is very. They really handle their business very professional about what they do. And a lot of times they're on their own, and they handle their business and do what they're supposed to, and it shows when we get into team periods that the way they execute. So it has been a lot of growth.
When it comes to the return game, how difficult is it to work on that when you're in a camp setting where contact is just limited by necessity?
We try to simulate the speed aspect of it, but the physicality, I mean, you never really can get to that. So really, you won't get to the physicality part until the first game. And the last thing you want to do is try to go live on kickoff or kickoff return in practice and lose a guy doing that. So I don't think anybody in the country does that. You just kind of try to give them the speed aspect of it, and then during drills you can kind of be a little bit more physical during the drills aspect, but live you can't really do that live. So you just gotta work it and work through it as we go during the season.
When it comes to identifying people on the return, reliability or big play potential?
I would like to have both, right? But it's going to start with reliability first, because ball security is number one, return game, right? We want to get the ball back for the offense, right? So if we got a guy back there who's reliable and catch the ball, and we always want to have that big play capability, but if you don't have that, then you got to fair catch it, give the offense an opportunity. You don't want to lose the ball. You got to take care of the ball. If we have to take it on the 25 or where it's at, then that's what it is. It's going to all depend on if we can find that guy who can do both.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name properly, so I won't try. But the young man from Japan, can you kind of tell us about him and how you guys?
So when I got here a year ago, he would come out and, Coach, I want an opportunity, and so we went a whole year, didn't really have a chance for him. I didn't have a spot for him. Then he came to one of our camps, and I was like, okay, this guy's. He got an opportunity. He got a chance to be decent, right? So, but we still didn't really have a spot for him. And then finally, a spot opened up for him, and he came and he proved that he belongs here. And right now he's down, but hopefully that we can get him healthy and see if he can compete. But he's. I didn't find him. He found me, and I think it was a good find. So I'm looking forward to getting him going.
How do you say his name?
I don't know how to say his last name,
okay.
But his first name is Tetsu.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. So,
I would just murder that last name.
no worries. So
I could barely say an English name.
was he on campus as a student?
Yeah, he
or-
was.
okay.
He was on campus as a student. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think he's been here 2 or 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a good young man.
He's on the roster as a senior. How does that kind of work with his eligibility?
They're still looking into his eligibility, but he might have more than 1 year.
Phase of the game, what skill sets are you looking for? Guys who might be starting on like kickoff punts.
Same aspects as offense and defense. Good athletes, physical, guys that can run, right? Guys that play with intelligence, right? To me, it's the same as offense and defense. The same skill sets you want on offense and defense, you want on special teams.